So what's going on today? It's a nice day. You're going to go fishing, I see. What kind of fish are you hoping to get today? Some bonefish. Well, isn't that a surprise? Hi, I'm Joe Walton, and I am also known as Dr. Bones of www.doomandbloom.net, and also the co-author of the Survival Medicine Handbook, which is our special second edition, over 550 pages and lots of information. You know, it's been a quiet hurricane season this year, but at one point or another, a hurricane is going to churn its way into the Caribbean and over to our east and Gulf coasts. Soon it'll be time to bring in the alligators and the pythons and batten down the hatches. The last major hurricane to whack the U.S. was Hurricane Ike. That hit Texas in 2008. Time heals all wounds, they say, and even some who have experienced severe storms forget about them, are completely unprepared for the severe winds, rain, flooding, and general mayhem that these storms can cause. Certainly, these storms can be severe, but they don't have to be life-threatening. Unlike tornadoes, which can pop up suddenly, hurricanes are first identified when they are hundreds, if not thousands of miles away. We can watch their development, have a good idea of how bad it might get, and how much time we have to get ready. Your family has to put together an effective plan of action with regards to shelter, food, power, and other important issues. If you do, even a Category 5 storm can be just a bump on the road and not the end of the road. Now, unlike some disaster scenarios, you can actually outrun some of these storms if you get enough of a head start. That's actually one of your most important decisions. Should you hit the road, Jack? Is it time to get out of Dodge? Well, you know what? If you live on the coast or in an area that floods often, there will be rising waters, also known as a storm surge, that might be enough of an issue to leave. The authorities will issue an evacuation order in many cases. If you live in prefabricated housing, such as a trailer, or near the coast, it might just be a very good idea to hit the road, Jack. Cities may no longer have plans for civil defense, but they still do for hurricanes in regions of risk. So oftentimes your municipality will assign a hurricane-resistant public building in your own community as an official shelter. Now, if you do choose to leave town, plan to go as far inland as possible. Hurricanes get their strength from the warm water temperatures over the tropical ocean. They lose strength quickly as they travel over land. Now, one caveat here is that if you live on the Florida Peninsula, I say head north, young man. The state is relatively thin. There's not much of an interior south of, say, Orlando. Speaking from personal experience, Hurricane Wilma in 2005 hit Florida's west coast and still whacked us pretty darn hard just a few miles from Florida's east coast. It might be a wise move to make reservations at an inland hotel or other shelter early. There will be little room at the inn for the late comers. Now, in any case, this is the time to check out that bug-out bag of yours to make sure it's ready to go. Although most people pack for 72 hours off the grid, that number is relatively arbitrary. Be prepared to have at least a week's supply of food and drinking water, a week's supply, as well as, of course, my favorite, medical supplies. You will usually not be told to leave your homes except in the cases that I mentioned earlier. As such, your planning will determine how much damage you sustain and how much risk you place yourself in. You should have an idea of what your home's weak spots are. Do you know what amount of sustained wind that your structure can withstand? Well, I do. Since South Florida was devastated by Hurricane Andrew in 1992, new homes in South Florida must have the strength to withstand 125-mile-an-hour winds. Most homes in most states, however, are made to handle 90-mile-an-hour winds. Category 1 hurricane strength is greater than 74 miles. If the coming storm has sustained winds over that level, you may not be able to depend on the structural integrity of your home. By the way, the most hurricane-proof resistant building design is the geodesic dome. Take a look there. Hurricanes are rated by category according by something called the Saffir-Simpson scale. The speed of the storm's sustained winds are used to measure the actual category, and that's an average wind speed over the course of a period of time, let's say 10 minutes or so. Category 1 storms are 74 to 95 miles per hour sustained winds. Category 2, 96 to 110 miles per per hour. Category 3, 111 to 130. Category 4, 131 to 155. Category 5, greater than 155. Now, examples of Category 5 storms would be, of course, Hurricane Andrew that I just mentioned, and of course, Hurricane Katrina, which caused so much loss of life in 2005. Now, if you decide to stay home, make sure you designate a safe room somewhere in the interior of the house. It should be in a part of the home most downwind from the direction the hurricane is hitting you. Figure out who's coming to ride out the storm with you and plan for any special needs they may have. You may wind up taking care of more people than you expect. Matter of fact, I'm almost certain you will. So have more water and non-perishable food than you think you'll need. 1 gallon per day of water, by the way, per adult keeps them well hydrated, but that doesn't take into account cooking and hygiene. So it's important to have more than that. Make provisions for any animals you'll be sheltering and move all outdoor furniture and potted plants either inside the house or up against the outside wall, preferably secured with chains. Don't forget to batten down the hatches, that is, put up the hurricane shutters. One special issue for South Floridians is, believe it or not, coconuts. They turn into cannonballs in a hurricane. Cut them off the tree before the winds come. Interestingly, palm trees themselves, they don't seem to have a dense crown. They weather most high winds without a problem. Trees with dense crowns, however, should be pruned to allow wind through and all dead branches removed. If you don't, expect some of those trees to come down during the storm. Indoor planning is important as well. Communications may be out in a major storm, so have one of those NOAA weather radios, your ham radio, or other communication device, and lots of fresh batteries. Turn your refrigerator, freezer down to its coldest setting so that food won't spoil right away if the power fails. Coolers filled with ice will extend the life of some of your more perishable items. Move furniture away from any windows that aren't securely shuttered, by the way. That is very important. Now, fill up your gas and propane tanks early in every hurricane season. Make sure that you and other members of your family know how to shut off the electricity, gas, and water. If there's a gas leak, just striking a match can cause a tragedy. Consider getting a generator and some extra gas cans, but remember to never use a generator indoors. The exhaust fumes can certainly kill you. Now, there's another kind of power that you should be concerned about. In the aftermath of a storm, credit card verification may be down. Without cash, you may have no purchasing power, that kind of power, at all. Now, there are other ways to increase your home's chance of getting through the storm in one piece. They include having foot and head bolts on double entry doors, a deadbolt with a longer bolt throw length, and there are ways, of course, to increase roof uplift resistance as well by using wood adhesive and other types of materials. Of course, have some waterproof tarps ready in case of lost shingles, etc. The roofers are going to be pretty busy after a major storm. They might not get to you right away. As a matter of fact, there were still blue tarps on roofs in South Florida after Hurricane Wilma more than a year after the storm. If you hunker down in your home during the storm, make sure you've got books, board games, and light sources for when the power goes down. Kids and most adults go stir crazy when they're stuck inside for a long period of time, especially if they don't have TVs or computers in service. Here's where you'll finally be thankful for those handheld gaming devices for your kids. Take time to discuss the coming storm in advance with them. This will give everyone an idea of what to expect and keep fear down to a minimum. That's really important. Also, give the kids some responsibility as well. Give them the opportunity to pack their own bag or to select games to play. This will keep their minds busy and their nerves calm. Now, some items will be useful in the cleanup after the storm. You'll need work gloves, eye protection, plastic garbage bags, duct tape, insect repellent, even tweezers to deal with splinters that may occur as just part and parcel of moving a lot of debris. A chainsaw may also be a wise item to have, a good item to have in your supplies. If you're prepared, you already have a head start on any hurricane that may come your way. Get everyone on the same page with plans A, B, and C. Get those plans operational. The storm will have come and gone shortly. Get ready now, and you'll make sure it doesn't take you with it. This is Joe Alton, also known as Dr. Bones, the Disaster Doctor, wishing you good health in good times or bad. Thank you.